Hello again, everybody. We're having another unboxing video today. This is one I bought myself back in November, and I've forgotten what's in it, and I've only getting around to open it now. But it's my favorite kind of unboxing and eBay job lot. Basically a pile of junk, and picked up for a very reasonable price that can become something wonderful and be converted, fixed, repaired. These are my favorite kind of eBay purchases. I don't think I've bought a brand new model since the early 2000s. Everything else has been bought secondhand on eBay, and often for very low prices, and repaired or fixed. And we're going to have a look at this. The box again is too big for this table, so it's off to the side here. I'm just going to cut it open. This will be as much have a magical mystery tour as an unboxing, because I have no memory of what's in here, because it was so long ago. And we have a lot. All kinds of ancillary packaging of products we can't get here in Ireland. Australian macadamia chocolate. One of the joys of eBay. Okay, the first thing is this. Which appears to be a resin mold, a very heavy resin mold. This is what I love about this stuff. You never know what you're going to get. They showed a photograph of the box, and the box showed all the stuff just thrown in a larger plastic box, like a carton container. And I saw like everything as glimpsed. And this almost looks like a professional model. Like this was actually from a company for casting tunnel mounts. There it has the registration keys. I wonder if there's two parts to it. But I thought this was a rubber mold. I knew it was a mold by looking at it, because it was a negative. But this looks like it's from a manufacturer's factory. It's actually from some company. Well, that could be something of a treasure, you know, for not value-wise, but to display a piece of equipment for making tunnel mounts. Yeah, this is a professional metal registration keys for the other half of the mold. Well, already we're off to an amazing surprise. I really didn't expect that. If anything, it'll make a fantastic paperweight. It seems to be made of some kind of resin. Well, off the bat already we're doing well. Some kind of box. Again, that's what I love about these things. You'll get things that you'll use for something else that you would never go into a hobby shop and buy. I mean, I'm going to get a switch panel out of that, drill the holes in it. There's my switch panel, put the wiring behind it. Again, happy days. These are the lots I love. That's the base of a building, which might or might not be in there. And it appears to be a station. There's the platform edging. There's the steps, and it's made by, it just says made in Germany, but it doesn't have a manufacturer. So it's Kibri or Faller or Pola. Organ, we've announced that, one of those guys. Okay, we got a bit tricky because we got tons of wire. Now this is heavy gauge electrical wire, but you'll always use wire. And then there's mountains of, it's all tied up in balls, but there's tons of other wire. Again, you'll always use this. You'll always need it. I'll try and get that out later. Something else. A piece of rolling stock. Well, it looks like this one's been nuked. This is I think, no, I don't know what this is. That's an unusual. I've never seen this this bogie type arrangement before. It looks like someone left a soldering iron or something on it. It's a very short DSG sleeping wagon. What's useful on this? Well, this is useful. It has that Merklin style, you know, the buffers move with the bogie kind of thing. So you got buffers, that's useful. The steps are useful. You've got the again, corridor connections are useful. So it's not a complete write-off. You could even do something to make it look like a damaged thing or something. Interesting model. It says no manufacturer name, but it says made in Western Germany. Kind of, at first glance it looked like a Lima, but then it has these American type things, so that's an interesting one. So it's got seats inside, you can use that as well. Interesting, almost like French or Austrian style station building. Very useful. Windows missing on the end, no problem. They might be in the box, or it can be patched up a wall, or it can be put up against another building. That's an interesting one. And then you get lots. You always get bits and pieces like this that you'll always find useful, like screws, parts off other kits that haven't been used. That's an interesting thing. It's some kind of brass contact type thing. Like, this is how I've literally built my layout, on this kind of thing, on this kind of stuff. And look, there's the missing end, so that's there, and the roof or something else. So we have that. That's a building that's complete. More wire. Another piece of rolling stock, a Fleischmann Pilsner beer refrigerated van. This is Merklin. And again, I don't know if these are real vans or advertising liveries, but these are very well made. It can also be redecaled and repainted, or this kind of thing. And it's missing the wheels, but that's all that's gone. No, that's there. Everything's there except the wheels, which I have loads of them. The very important steps on the end are intact. Yep. Again, if that's a real wagon, I don't know, but it is one. Some of these can be quite plausible, but others can be very kind of garish and obviously silly looking. This is another one. This is a really old Fleischmann one with it's warped, but again, that can be fixed. It's got the embossed DB lettering. And see, it became warped when he glued something into it there. That's totally salvageable. If not, even the base, it's got all the buffers. One of the steps is missing. I've got loads of them. Or it can come off something else. Oh, look at this. Merklin. More bits and bobs. This is a you know, for a car to get up into the second level. So I guess it's broken, so you'd have two automobiles would drive up there, and this loads up, and then you have the entire thing. Yeah, this is part of a two-part set, because like the buffers are on this end. Again, maybe the rest is in there, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But this is a very nice model. It's like it's all metal. And then you get your usual bits and bobs. Let me get a separate box for these. Put them in it. The base of a building, residential, Pola. Were sold at a model power in the US and North America. So maybe we have the rest of that building, I don't know. But a very useful surrounding wall anyway. And more wire. And more wire, and here we have a broken yard lamp. I do like these style German yard lamps. I'll definitely make use of this. They're very good scenic items. Piece of Roco line track. This is code 87 with the rubber roadbed. I always love that about the Pico track, with the rubber roadbed to absorb the shock, and this sort of brace in the middle. Again, the roadbed has been trimmed to make it fit onto a point, or I don't know if they have the pointed turnouts. If not, the code 87 track can be removed. This is a piece of Roco, and it looks like, yeah, is it code 87 or code 100? It's a piece of code 100. Again, you'll always use this stuff. You know, there's much more fun in this at the end of a Swiss type chalet. Some more track. Roco code 100. This is the old Roco line stuff. It doesn't have a name. A piece of the American Universal coupler. We'll put that in the bits and bobs box. No name. This is Germany, made in Western Germany. Fleischmann, I'd say, with the copper. And this is a Roco again. Yep. This is Roco code 87 though. So this was removed from the roadbed. I'm slow because a lot of the track and stuff is caught up in the loose wiring. This is Playcraft Juef. This person is like me, has every track make under the sun. This is an old Fleischmann with the fiberboard sleepers and the pin and slot joiners. This is a Roco, 30-degree radius, very useful piece of track, code 100. Most of my layout is code 100, and it's a lot more layout to build, so this will all get used. Roco. This is a Märklin K-track, which is, believe it or not, this is set. These two lines are isolated, so you can run this on regular DC, even though it's three rail AC for Märklin system. You can run this on. You can run your DC trains or incorporate in your layout. I think this is the really tight radius, and that's a very useful one for getting into tight spaces. And this is a Fleischmann, I think this is, with the pin connector. You can all, these are also very useful too for getting power on. Some wire and some light fixtures there. They look junk. Put them in there. More track. Roco, code 100. Fleischmann, brass, code 100. There's something about the Fleischmann brass track that it's better than any of the other brass tracks that were ever made. Whatever they made this, whatever kind of brass they used to make this, it has the same electrical conductivity as nickel silver. And there's many a Fleischmann layout, even club layouts, that have been out there for years, where they use this brass track, and it's fine. It works just as good as nickel silver. So there's a rumor out there, well, that all brass tracks are bad. And I know in America they have a bad reputation, which I find that they're not so bad after all. But if you go to any American site, they talk about these tracks like they're terrible. No, maybe the Model Power and the Atlas ones are, but I'm still not like convinced by that. But I can tell you the Fleischmann ones, the conductivity and the cleaning of these is as good as nickel silver. This is no name again, Roco, code 87. And this is Fleischmann, code 100. Brass again. Get another Fleischmann. Another Fleischmann. tricks box with nothing in it. It looks like it was a it was an auto coupling system, which looks kind of like the wagon that I have that was burnt. Have we solved that mystery? That this is a Trix model. I've never ever had a Trix or a Trix Express model. So I'm wondering, yeah, this seems to be what this is a Trix model. So this is the beauty of these lots too, is they become a kind of an education. More wire. This appears to be the roof of a rotating. It's a restaurant or a bar cafe, and either it rotates on this motor, or something on the roof rotates, and there's like a classic old 60s kit. Very interesting. Don't recall seeing that in any of the catalogs. Another piece of that French provincial or Austrian station building. This is another piece of a kit. Great for Kitbashing. A base of something else. It seems to have a grass bank leading up to it. Made in Slovenia, so that's Mehano. Fleischmann. Here we have. Remember the other day the boxing of the lot my friend bought me, and it had these gondolas. Well, we've discovered thanks to the commenters that they were actually made by Lima. So I now have a third one of them. This one actually says Lima. So I actually have a third one of these Lima gondolas. This is like a Mehano wheel or something. From a Mehano, maybe he was trying to motorized a turntable. Very useful for lots of things. That even outside model trains, some of the stuff like the hardware stuff can actually be very useful. Case in point, a bicycle light. An old 1960s bicycle lamp. I think I had one of these on my bicycle when I was a little boy. I mean, this is what makes these kind of lots so much fun. You're also getting an insight into someone's life. This may have been someone who passed away, and a family member gathered the stuff up and put it on eBay. Didn't know if it was part of a train thing or not. It's one of the magic elements of not buying these kinds of lots. I've had many of these experiences over the years. You're learning about a person and their life. Oh, the first turnout. And this is one of these Fleischmann mega jobs. There's a motor inside this. No, it's not. It's disconnected. It has the separate wiring here. This is even though this is plastic. Well, it's kind of like a Bakelite. It goes with these Fleischmann. No, it doesn't actually. This is the one that has it's both. It has like a double system. It works about the pin and slot and with rail joiners. And there's another piece of fiber track. And this is a piece of Lima. That's steel. Code 100. This says Willis Co. And it's some kind of. Oh, it's a mini grinder. Look at that. I got myself a mini grinder. All I have to do is hook a motor up to that, which is easy enough. Mount on a board, put a high torque motor on it, and I can got myself a mini grinder. Happy days. This is a Stachicon wagon, and I'd say this is probably Trix again. DB. Yep. And the same kind of wagon once more. This is Märklin. It's the base of some kind of wagon or rolling stock, I think. Looks like kind of a science fiction-y kind of theme thing. I don't know. A bit of a heavy weight inside it. We've still got way more to go. The first loco, and this is Lima. I have one of these, and this is a very useful body for American style. The motor's been removed. It doesn't matter. It's really the shell I want for kit bashing American models. So that I'm delighted with that. I'd say I'm up to my €40 worth by now. This looks like Lima. Or is it Chiquita bananas? And I think it's, I can see in there, no. It's tiny lettering. I don't know if it's Lima or if it's just an interesting coupler system. See with a spring on it. I don't know if it's Lima or it's more Tricks Express. The decal is terrible on it, but the van itself is very well detailed. It looks like one of those Dresden vans, and that is, if to paint this up and get this sorted, you'd have a very useful van for German railways, both pre-war and post-war. They were made with the original, the prototype van were made with wheels that could be expanded out to Russian gauge, broad gauge. And considering that these came into being in 1937, well, it kind of tells you what the plans were for the future. Again, these great little things, little bottle of Splint, it's all in there with a little applicator. Another piece of Fleischmann track. Don't know what that is. A model base. It looks like Lima. Again, very useful. This is a Lima model, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's broken. I had steer. It was like a covered van. He looks like he cut the side off for some reason, and SNCF, it says, these French style bogies, very useful for repairing UFHO models, where there's a tendency for those models to be the bogies to be broken or something, the plastic they use. So these make excellent replacements with these French high-speed freight bogies. Ah yes, a Deutsche Bahn cement car by Märklin. That just needs a cleaning up, and look, a little road traffic sign. Oh, great stuff. And that can be fixed up real easy. The lettering is pretty good. A clean, touch up the black paint, kind of new wheels, put on a coupler and a spring, and Bob's your uncle. Lima, I say. GUF. It's a GUF Deutsche Bahn. I don't think it's a real model. It may be a French one. It looks like it is converted, but made in France. It's one of the French ones, not the Irish ones. One's made in Ireland. But yeah, not prototypical, I don't think. Maybe, I'm not sure, but it doesn't look it. Could be, but nice enough model anyway. We got it all here. Look at this, a piece of Märklin Z-track. What I do is I take out the center rail here when I use it on my DC, and I snip the connection between these 2 points here, and I can use it as a DC layout instead of AC. Just look at this little swan. A German light bulb fixture. Another Tricks bogie, the one that was missing. Some track, don't know what that is, a bit of wire. That's so funny. Like, I think every single brand of track has nearly been, well, European HO track has been represented so far. Every major brand. This is a very delicate base. I don't know who made this, but that's lovely. Tiny couplers. So that came from, is this from this one? I'm not sure. I think it might be. Die Deutsche Reichsbahn East German wagon. Lovely little model. These pieces of junk here. A bit more wire. Fish plate. Glass from a window. That's a very nice model. It might be Tyco or Fleischmann, I'm not sure. It's got a bit of weight now, even though it's plastic. It's a very delicate underframe. Almost looks like it's HOE or HOM. Let's leave that to one side. German van, truck, cab, very nice. Omo company, delivery company, corporation, very nice. You always need trucks and vans. More wire, some plastic tubing. Roco code 100. Piece of card walling, another base, more wiring, a piece of a Mehano pantograph for overhead electrical. You'll look at that in a minute. Another Mehano base, some brass thing. Can't see the name. Roco, something else. An N scale, tricks. Level crossing. I have to say, very nice looking. Or is it very, very nice looking? I have to say. I do have an N scale sock, and I do have a kind of a Mickey Mouse N scale layout. This is a tipper wagon thing, but a better quality one than this one. I have a few of these junky Markham ones, and I was thinking of like maybe making it into a factory thing or something, but this is a better quality one. Does it say the make on the end? I can't tell. He's done some weathering too. Okay, Fleischmann code 100. A Mehano bullet connector. A piece of a lamp. That's the lamp that we saw earlier on. A brush spring. And more Fleischmann track. A Primex box with nothing in it. Another one of these, which I think is tricks. There's 3 of them that were in the box. These Stachicon wagons, flat wagons. Another piece of Mehano C-track. Just never ending, this box. Roof of a building, so hopefully that whole building is there. This is another very good quality underframe. And yep, more track by. Some manufacturers, I think, or some places like in England, were giving away boxes of junk, surprise packages for £20, and they were absolute shit. Sorry, pardon my French. Absolute shite. I'll use the Irish vernacular. That was in the box. Really poor. Very few people seemed very happy with them. And I remember thinking, like, this has been double the price of what was in those mystery packages that were sold by some English retailer. And I've already got 10 times, 20 times what was in some of those boxes, what I saw on packaging. So this is why it's much better to buy these junk lots. This is that's an interesting track. Tricks. Now this is not Tricks Express, although it might be. Tricks Express is a 3-rail system, a 3-rail DC system, with the center rail being a common rail. And the reason for it being a common rail is it allows you to run 2 trains on the same track, and if you have an overhead catenary, 3 trains on the same track with 3 different controllers. So it was almost like DCC before there was DCC. This is a German Thunderbox. This is an old Markham model. They were called Thunderbox not because necessarily the noise they made, but they were named after the a toilet that was used in old Germany, made of a box, and simulating the sounds of nature's movements. What's the bit of nothing? When using your private convenience. Another tricks. These could be actually very useful for lots for other scratch building products. This is a box. Already one of my favorite things, a Lima motor bogie. The wonderful Lima motor bogie. So useful for so many things, for motorizing static models and everything. And we got like a piece of catenary. There's the top of that truck that we found earlier on. Lots of little light bulbs, bits and bobs, some pantographs. Oh, nice pantographs too. Light bulbs, some lead weights, a couple of wheels, some nuts and washers. This was a spares and junks box. A circular magnet from a Lima or a Fleischmann motor. Some more wiring, some wheels and bits and bobs. The top of a lamp. Cool. Sweet. A Z-scale kit box of a signal tower. Is it in here? Sure enough, there, that looks like it. Oh, some of it. No, it's not. This is a different kit. That's not the same tower as that. So, and their HO scale. He was just using it to store his bits and bobs in. So, North Track, Fleischmann, a bit of a building, more Fleischmann track, some heavy rail there, whatever that is. I wonder is that the trick center rail. And some bits of nothing, doors, windows, Merklin plugs, some kind of electrical thingy, fences, train weights. Oh, ignore that. A copy of Eisenbahn Modellbahn magazine, and the date is March 2006. Give a quick look through this. I'm always impressed by the photography in the German magazines. ICE sets, regional bands, regional railways, DMUs, lovely historic photographs here of a roundhouse, fabulous aerial photograph of a Deutsche Bahn junction in 1989, the Google Earth of its day. That's a cool picture. Is this American? No, I don't know where. Australia. Jordanese Railways. Italian rail cars, reviews, and so on. Some layout ideas. Scale drawings, very useful, and a few kit bashing and project things. Nice magazine. I'm just pulling the junk out, and if anything super interesting appears, I'll show it. A Marklin directional changing switch. I've never seen that before, but that could be quite useful. I'll have to look into that. Primex, Markman's cheap brand. 2 wires. That's the plugs that go into this. Nice solid well-made plugs them. A Pico type, P-I-K-O, the German Pico type track connector. A Triangle Hornby use something very similar. I think it's Pico. These are better because they kind of pull in. You see where they're hooked? They hook into the rail and pull against it. Piece for building. Piece for building. A power connector, Fleischmann power connecting thingy of some time. Number 519, if anyone knows what that is. It's like a suppressor relay or something. Another German style power plug. Another one of these Dresden vans that might be tricks. And again, despite this horrible decal application, this is a very nice model. The detail on this is really wild. I love these. This has been the real revelation of this box. Has been this stuff. I don't know if you can see the detail on it, but that's for a toy-like thing. The detail is incredible. We have a level crossing of some kind with all the lights hooked up and everything, and it's a Keebri. It looks like it has the motors and relays intact. I don't know if I'd want to fully restore that. But, you know, this is useful, this is useful, this is useful, this is useful, the signals are useful. Box of parts. These are the Merklin with the bullet connector type switches for operating points and so and so. Another piece of Roco line rubbery code 87 track. See if I get this out and the wire out and take what's ever connected to it. It's caught up in a piece of track, but that's basically more of the wire. Again, you always need wire. You surprise them, you know, small layout, you can surprise how much wire you need. Another plug, some more track. Oh, a long Merklin flat wagon, broken but useful for parts, and I have a few of these. I think in the last unboxing I showed one. Fleischmann track. A lamp, a good quality one, metal. Bit of a building, level crossing. That they're very useful. I think this is the Fleischmann one where you can, or the Fleischmann or the Juef one where you can extend the track. It's an extendable piece of track. Hey, look at this. A steeple cab locomotive. This is the Lima one, I think. And yeah, these can be also very useful to convert into American style steeple cab electrics. And yeah, that's a very useful body there. If I don't find the rest, piece of a truck or a van, it doesn't look like it's HO scale. Some more track. There's that track with through it around a tropical palm tree branch from a toy set. More track. I'm just now I'm going to get stuff that looks interesting because there's piles of things in here. Bits of wheels, just a million things in here, accessories and so on. This is almost looks like a Fleischmann. Made in US zone, Germany. That's what all that thing is. Ah, yes. These American cranes. Now, I don't really like them as models, but on the new layout, I'm hoping to create a dockside scene, a harbor, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to convert this crane into a dockside crane, loading from ships to. I'll put some kind of feet on it. Ships to rail cars or trucks or whatever. Heavy cast metal thing. Quite well made, but I don't really like it. I don't like the look of it, you know, as a rail vehicle. But as a dockside crane, it'll be a great conversion. Another loco. And this is another American one. And this looks like a Lima again, is it? I can't tell. I don't know what this is. No, it's German. Sorry, it's German. It might be East German Pico. I don't know. Or it's it might be an old Pico one. I don't know. Or Lima. I can't tell. If anyone out there knows who makes this, give me a shout. There's the old box off the American crane from the 1950s. More track. Tons of track in here. Another one of these little boxes. Seems to be a loco inside it. A very large model of a sheep. More of those buildings. It's an interesting little race car. Oh, look, it's a little. It says it's a little slot car. It's motorized. G Plus. Made in. Does it say Germany? Made in Singapore. And this is another one of those locos that may be Lima, or I don't think it's Lima. No, it's not. It has it might be Pico, East German Pico, and some bits and bobs. Nothing particularly interesting in there. What's that? 3 locos I've got so far. Here's the tender base for it. No, again, no name on it, but decent wheels. Look at that. Proper, good quality spoke wheels. More Roco line track. A covered hood from a truck. Another point broken. Lima. And what's in here? That looks a piece of some kind of crane that the thingy was on, the boom. Bits and pieces of kits, a Volkswagen logo. And yeah, bits and pieces of kits and that kind of thing. Another building. I saw the roof of that earlier on, the other roof. Bahnhof, that's that, so it is German or Austrian. Useful connector. Some kind of housing with all the screws, I don't know, for a turnout motor or something. Routenhouse Digital, some kind of digital unit. What it's for, I don't know. Maybe some of you may know. There's a track mooring. If anybody knows who makes this or what it's about, give me a shout. Another Thunderbox wagon. Another loco. This looks like a toy. Tin plate. It has a motor in it though. Lovely car with the wheels missing. I'm sure that's in there somewhere. I can fix that. Now we know it's from the Fleischmann car. The top part of that tender. Another tender. So those logos are complete. And everything else appears to be more of the same. They basically just more than there's nothing particularly out of the ordinary here. But I mean, hundreds, maybe thousands of bits of kits, hardware, electrical stuff. And if you were to go out and buy it, would certainly cost you more than 40 euros. Way more than 40 euros. So there we go. So an enormous pile of stuff that, you know, it's true what they say. Piece of engage track, or is it Z? One man's junk is another. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And again, months and months and years of tons of fun here, and you save money. You have great fun opening the box, and you have stuff that you'll always use or pass on to other people. So thanks for watching, and take care.